Paola Gomez of Trainer Running Team Bib 5, Ethan Dimitrovich of John Carroll Bib number 6, and Jackson Mackey, another Gonzaga athlete, Bib number 7.
So wearing bib number 6 again, Ethan Dimitrovich from John Carroll University in suburban Cleveland, one of 2 athletes from that D3 school making the trip out here once again. Alex Phillip was out here 3 weeks ago for the Stanford Invite. This time he's coming out to run the 10K. He set a D3 all-time record in the 5,000 when he was out here before, I think 13:47. He has 1 year of eligibility left. He's going to be running at North Carolina next year.
Dimitrovich was 4th in the flat 3,000 meters in his conference, has also run 8:58 in this event, looking to mix it up with Division I boys here. With all these Gonzaga athletes in the race, got to shout out my buddy Devin Fahey, working as a coach over at Gonzaga, works a lot with the steeplechase guys as well. Young coaches doing the most, trying to get things going and support athletes however they can.
And Gonzaga, of course, in Spokane, Washington, and one of the top new indoor facilities. Downtown Spokane, the 200 Bank, that the first year out, they have the U.S. National Champions there, so not a bad way to christen a facility, I would say.
Yeah, really nice facility out there. Pat Tyson's really done a great job with that program, just consistently good. And something that really strikes me about Tyson's work at Gonzaga is you might not get a lot of these big, flashy recruits that a team like Stanford might get, but he just consistently develops guys. They get in and they continue to improve throughout their 4 and now in the age of COVID, sometimes 5 or 6 years. But continuing to develop, I think that's something that a lot of high school athletes should take closer looks at when they're looking at programs, is not just what are the top athletes running, but how have they developed since arriving on campus. Much easier said than done, and something Gonzaga does very, very well.
And it is more than I would think could or should happen. You see athletes go to a program, and there are times when they exit after 4 years. Hopefully they do compete all 4 years. Isn't up to the same level that they were competing at in high school, and that's really disappointing for the sport and for people like ourselves who are fans and followers of the sport.
I think there's this mindset, and if there's anything that is common amongst high performance athletes like we see on this track, it is a desire to constantly improve, right? Every time you touch a track, you want to continue to improve. So every high schooler going to college just assumes that they're going to improve as they get older and stronger and faster. What they always don't anticipate is just the amount of new factors that they're going to face in college. You're living on your own. You might have a roommate for the first time. You might be living in a shoebox dorm room with somebody who keeps you up late at night. You've got just so much more to manage and so much more self-responsibility. And getting in with a team where you really identify with that team culture, have close relationships with the guys or the women on the team, just so helpful to develop that community and continue improving in college.
3 minutes and 20 seconds gone by in the second heat of the men's 3,000 steeple, and the entire field of 6 all bunched together. Hayden, nobody's really attempted to make a break. Everybody's very content to run as a bunch coming up to the water jump once again.
It was Cullen McEachern doing most of the early lead for Gonzaga, but now Cooper Laird has moved up. Seems to be a little bit of agreement amongst the Gonzaga guys. That's what you want this early in the race. Just kind of trade off laps. One guy do 1 lap, somebody else move up, and you're not seeing any jockeying for position really, just kind of smooth movements. Ooh, as that was a choppy hurdle from Jackson Mackey. He'll need to get a little bit more comfortable before his next one. But right now, all the guys running smooth, running relaxed, a little bit of gentle trade-off between the leaders sharing the work. And if I'm Santa Clara right now, or rather Trano running team, doing a really good job just kind of sitting back and letting the Gonzaga guys do the work, almost cycling tactics. You got 4 guys from the same team, so if you're not on that team, you're like, hey, you guys do the work. We're going to sit back here and let you guys push the pace because it shouldn't be our job.
Absolutely. The only thing they don't know is when is go time. Either every man for himself within the Gonzaga team in heat number 2 of the men's 3K steeplechase as the pack starts to bunch up. A new leader going into the water barrier once again. Next time by, they will see the number 3 on the laps to go board.
I think that's Jackson. Nope. Trying to get an eyeball on that. Oh, that is McEachern back to the lead. Sorry, they're on the opposite side of the booth, so going off bib numbers here. Bib number 2, Cullen McEachern, going back to the lead, sharing some work with Laird. But I'll tell you who looks really good. Paola Gomez of Trainer Running Team has looked really comfortable hanging out in about 3rd position. Paola de Jesus Gomez, full name, running for Costa Rica. 19 years old, has already run 8:56. A little bit of choppiness over that barrier, but his positioning's been really good. Normally just hanging on the inside, letting the Gonzaga guys do the work, coming out a little bit to get a clear sight line on each of the barriers, but otherwise staying really smooth.
And again, Ethan Dimitrovich from Division III, John Carroll, right now sitting in the number 3 spot. He finished 4th at the D3 National Championships last year with that 8:58 steeple PR. And coming up on the 6-minute mark with 2.5 laps remaining in our heat number 2 of the steeplechase.
Cooper Laird, a guy I was almost surprised to see in this event. He had such a great day at Brian Clay just a week ago, ran 3:49 in the 15 and won his heat of the 5K in 14:16. Coming back a couple days later and running a steeplechase, I'm sure he's got plenty of miles in his legs, perhaps just trying to take advantage of the opportunities in California while they can get them before they gear up for conference later in the year.
And I think you've talked, whether it was off camera or during the stream, about the training cycles for different teams and where meets like Payton Jordan hit amongst the team cycle. Everybody has a different philosophy of how they approach it, the importance that they put on, obviously, conference championships. They want to walk off with the most points in potentially a team title. These conferences is how coaches are graded in many ways.
Yeah, all in on that conference meet. That is for sure. A lot of these coaches live and die by how they do at the conference meet. That's what the athletic directors are interested in. For better or worse, not all ADs know what a good steeplechase time is, but they know what place you got at conference. I can guarantee you that.
All right, coming up on a lap and a half remaining, coming up to the water jump for the next to last time, 7:20. And a great push off that time by our leader as that front pack has broken up.
Something to think about for the John Carroll athlete. Top time in D3, I'm going to assume, is 8:44.21 from Colin Kirkpatrick. Technically, a Dickinson athlete is listed above, but I'm going to assume that was clocked a lap short based on the time. But 8:44 is what the John Carroll athlete will be looking for. But it is Cullen McEachern who is in charge of this race with a lap to go. Comes in with an 8:46 PB. He did that on this track at the Stanford Invitational. Also had a busy day at Brian Clay, running 3:48, 13:59, both personal best for him, and he's trying to grab another one here in the steeplechase.
And his legs look pretty fresh as he's going down the back straight, keeping that lead of 10 meters, coming up to the final barrier before the water jump.
Chilcott, the Australian, running for Santa Clara, running really well in second. He should be on track to crush his 8:55 personal best, really running well.
8:20 on the clock. Last water barrier up and over for McEachern from Gonzaga. We have seen the last steeple suddenly look like it's 48 inches tall and grab that ankle, but he is up and over. Cullen McEachern from Gonzaga with the win, and he will go sub 8:50.
Not quite a personal best for him, but a huge personal best is going to come for Chilcott, running just about 8:51 with a stumble over the last barrier too. Barely kept his feet, but he'll finish in second, followed by Laird, 8:55 will finish third. Dimitrovich fourth with an 8:57, which will put him as the 3rd fastest Division III athlete in this event this year.
They will put the rail back in place as we'll get set for the women's 5,000 meter races coming up in about 10 minutes. You are watching day 1 coverage of the Payton Jordan Invitational live from Stanford